morning. Salute to Combos with Cam, dropping that $20 super chat on your boy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Queen. Thank you to the Queen Sister Combos with Cam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Always looking out, always supporting. Thank you so much. Wow, I appreciate that. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Combos with Cam to go get some good mental health. Y'all go check out Convos with Cam. Some good mental health exercises that she brings to the table is very, very important. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Make sure y'all check her out. Make sure you drop your link, Convos with Cam. Real talk. Thank you so much. Wow. You got me right here. Thank you. Well. Good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom lovers, freedom family, freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Hitting y'all with this morning paper. We about to get into this. Yes, y'all go check out Convos with Cam. Her link is in all my mods as well that do content. Make sure you drop your links as well. So what is going on in the world today? Well, not really in the world. What's going on in the world? The UN just initiated a vote on whether or not the US can lead a stabilization force. A stabilization force is something that Donald Trump has proposed, right, to the UN. A US-led stabilization force that will be deployed in Gaza to ensure that the peace and the borders are established and all this other shit. And Hamas is like, oh no, hell no, right? Naturally, Hamas is saying that they ain't with this and that they will not disarm themselves. Now, the whole purpose of this stabilization force is to ensure that Donald Trump's 20-point plan to bring peace to Gaza is implemented, right? And in reality, what it's about is the great trust that I told you guys about previously. What they are trying to do is implement the great trust. What they are trying to do is turn Gaza into a resort town where the millionaires and the billionaires can treat it like Dubai 2.0. Basically, they want Dubai 2.0 in the Middle East. US-led Dubai 2.0 with some Israel partnership, right? To a haven wealthy elite that will rival something like Dubai has going on, what Saudi Arabia has going on. They want that in the Middle East. And so the one thing standing in their way at this very point is Hamas, right? Because Hamas can be looked at as a rebel force or a revolutionary force that is basically resisting the occupation of Israel. Now, what they'll tell you is that Hamas is a terrorist group that in reality has been emboldened and has been enriched by Israel itself. Because Israel needs an enemy. Israel needs a terrorist group in Gaza in order to justify the occupation and the further annexing of Palestine. That's basically what this is about. So this 20-point plan is to ensure that the Palestinians and essentially Hamas gets in pocket to allow what they want to occur, right? That's what this is about. But let's make no mistake that the IDF are still killing people in Gaza. They're still killing people in Palestine. This is just a reality, right? They'll tell you, well, no, Hamas is doing this, Hamas is doing that. They executed these people and those people. When in reality, the people that Hamas executed were considered to be traitors, and they killed people, sure, but they did not kill any Israelis, right? But Israel has been killing Palestinians, and the ceasefire has not been a ceasefire the entire time, and this is because Israel and the IDF continues to terrorize the people of Palestine. I'm sure you guys heard about the Israeli settlers who are emboldened by the IDF, emboldened by the government to attack Palestinians. They did so during the olive harvest. They attacked multiple people. They killed people. Listen, this is just reality, okay? The IDF is an occupying force. Israel is an occupying nation. And the Palestinians are fighting to maintain their land, to maintain their stronghold, and they are just trying to make sure that they have their place, they have their state. They want to be recognized, right? Just like Israel wants to be recognized. But Israel's not interested in a two-state. They're not interested in having Palestine be recognized as a state. And so they're doing their level best to ensure that doesn't happen. And Donald Trump is helping. And so this stabilization force will consist of, it's an international stabilization force that will include, obviously, the U.S., and it will include other nations that will basically be dictating where the lines are drawn in Palestine. They will be ensuring that the apartheid is stabilized. It's an apartheid stabilization force. Yes. This is what they want, right? They want to turn, like I said, they want Dubai 2.0 in the Middle East. And they want, they want the Palestinians to be the worker bees. They want the Palestinians to be the servants and to wait on the elites hand and foot, right? This is in reality what they want, right? They want to install a puppet government for the Palestinians, give them the impression that they do have a state without truly recognizing them as a state. They will be a servant nation. That is what's going to happen. That is what they want to happen. Marcia T is saying that she loves engaging in talks of mental health. It's very important. It's very important, and I'm glad to have someone like Convos with Cam, my queen sister Cameron, on my side and available to practice these exercises. I mean, she provides very great information on her channel. She gives great pointers on how to deal with mental health. She does exercises, and she explains different things, right? She will explain different health, mental health issues that people deal with on a day-to-day basis that wouldn't necessarily land you in a psych ward, but may have you crash out a little bit, and all that stuff. And everybody needs to have these conversations. Everybody needs to practice these exercises in the world that we live in today, because it can be very stressful. Marcy says, my goal was to be a life coach, but of course, Conrad happened. Okay. Interesting. Who's Conrad? Salute to Flying Guillotine. Salute to you. Yeah. Listen, I know it's not very juicy, right? It's not a very juicy topic to continue to talk about what's going on in Gaza, but it's very important to understand that this stabilization force is going to cost us money. Yeah. It's going to cost us money. We're going to be deploying a force into Gaza, and we have to understand what a force is. What is force? Force is violence. Yeah. So by the threat of violence, this stabilization force is going to be deployed into Gaza to basically oppress the Palestinian people, right? To oppress, and they also are there to keep Israel in check, right? Because we know what Israel wants to do. Israel just wants to completely wipe these people out. Yeah. They want to ethnically cleanse Gaza. They want to ethnically cleanse Palestine so that they can have their way with the land, have their way with the people, and whatever remnants of Palestinian culture and Palestinian society exist, they will be firmly under the rule of Israel. This is what they want, right? But the world is starting to see Israel for who they truly are. And so the U.S. is like, look, you about to fuck this up. So you guys got to stay, y'all got to ease up on that. We got to pull back. We got to behave as though we really do want peace, that we're not just trying to eradicate a whole nation of people. Right? And this is the goal, because Israel is doing too much. But there's no longer any hiding it. Right? So that's why the U.S. are like, what? We got to do something about this. We can't let Bibi Nosferatu just have his way. Salute to Black Springwell Autumn in the bill. I saw you in here. Supreme Beast, Supreme Being, Brother Mansa Musa. Salute to you. Salute to Marcy T. So I'm very interested to see what this force is going to do. And if Hamas is not going to disarm themselves, I wonder how it's going to play out when boots touch the ground in Palestine or in Gaza. It's going to be very interesting to see what Hamas is going to do. Are they going to resist? Are they just going to stand their ground? And what does standing their ground look like? What does standing your ground look like when you have an occupying force that essentially snatched up 50+% more of your land and pushed you toward the West Bank? And then you have another occupying force that calls themselves a stabilization force come in and try to dictate what goes on in your very own nation. What does a group like Hamas do? You know, is it terrorism to resist this? Was it terrorism to begin with? Was October 7th terrorism, right? Was it terrorism when, you know, it's essentially a response to violent acts from another nation that essentially drove you to do this and allowed you to do it, right? If there was a stand down order, if Hamas was basically entrapped to commit the October 7th attacks, is that truly terrorism on the part of Hamas and Hamas alone? These are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. We got to live in reality, y'all. I know they want to tell you October 7th was a terrorist attack and Hamas is just a terrorist group. But if there was a stand down order, and if Mossad was involved in any way in the planning of what happened on October 7th, then we really have to ask ourselves, who are the terrorists? And so far, Israel, the IDF, has not denied not having knowledge of the attacks before they occurred. From what I understand, an entire year before. They knew an entire year before the October 7th attacks that Hamas was planning those attacks. An entire year. So we have to ask ourselves, would Israel go to the lengths of terrorizing their own people with this stand down order, with the possibility that they encouraged and entrapped Hamas, that there's a possibility that Benjamin Nosferatu was funneling funds and resources to Hamas to ensure that he remains in power? Who is the real terrorist group? Who is really terrorizing the Israeli people? Who is truly responsible for the October 7th attacks that led us to where we are today, that resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people, according to Lancet, right? According to Lancet, there were over 630,000 people killed. Palestinians, most of whom were women and children, or children, actually. You know, because you have to consider all the rubble, all the bodies that still need to be recovered from all the bombings and all the leveling of Gaza. Over 84% of the buildings in Gaza were leveled. So we have to ask ourselves these questions. Walter Davis says that was Muslim people. What are we talking about? Anthony says, for real, why did Hamas attack? I bet it was provoked. I bet if you find out that Israel did to Hamas before the 7th. Oh yeah, Anthony. But in the question is as well, not only was it provoked, but was it encouraged? Was the October 7th attacks encouraged? That's the question I would ask, right? Was it encouraged? Not only was it provoked, but was it encouraged? Walter Davis says, presume you were a soldier. I was. I had a cache of weapons. Where did I hide them? When I was in the military? I didn't hide them anywhere. The weapons were kept in the armory. You know, you're on base. You don't just walk around with weapons all day. You go to the armory if you're going to go to the range and train, or if you're going to go do a field training exercise. You go to the armory and check your weapons out. Then you use them. You come back. You clean them, and then you turn them back into the armory. Unless you're doing patrols, or unless you're like on guard, right? Like when 9/11 happened and I was in Korea and we had 20-hour shifts. So you were doing patrols, or you manned the guard towers. But no, we didn't hide weapons. We just kept them in the armory. Or do you hide them in a bunker in the middle of nowhere? It depends on what you're talking about. Provoked, you've got 1,000 of years worth of provoked. Well, yeah, I mean, this has been going on for thousands. You're absolutely right. Saying bye to my daughter as she goes to school. I bet this clown wishes so bad he was Bill Clinton. I'm debating Cribs and Bloods. Tell me what you mean by that. They walk around with guns ultim. Tom, what are you talking about? Marsha T says, now you know why they walk around with bodyguards. Who wishes they were Bill Clinton? I don't know, man. People come in and they just talk. They just talk. It is what it is. The man on your screen wishes he was Mr. Clinton. Man, you homoerotic individuals are truly, y'all are always projecting. Where would I hide weapons? Depends where I'm at. Where am I, and what's the context? What are the conditions? It just depends. Would you put a hospital or a school? I don't understand your point. I don't understand your point. If you're suggesting that Hamas hides weapons and whatnot where children are, I don't get your point. What does that mean? If you are if you are a military force and you believe that your enemy forces are caching weapons in a school or a hospital where women and children are, you don't blow up the fucking hospital or the school. You perform an infiltration mission, a strategic surgical one, where you go in and you might want to do some recon first. Do some recon and determine whether or not it's true that there are weapons in there, right? It takes time. You do an investigation. And if you discover that, then you find a way in, right? And you eliminate the individuals caching those weapons. And then guess what? You eliminate the people that you believe are caching those weapons, and then you remove the weapons. It's done all the time. You don't just blow up the fucking hospital and blow up the school and kill a bunch of children. I don't know what you're suggesting by bringing that up. Yeah. Oh man. It's like you people don't understand what words are. Do you guys not know words? Did we not learn how to? Do we not know what words are? I don't understand what we're talking about. Like you don't know what context means? What are we talking about? If someone asked me where I would hide weapons and stuff, what's the context? What conditions? Where am I at? Am I on military base? Am I at the house? What are we talking about? Dougal Board says, well, I'm talking about how the United Nations Security Council approved the U.S. To deploy, well, not just the U.S. The UN Security Council just approved the deployment of a stabilization force to go into Gaza, a U.S.-led stabilization force, to ensure that Donald Trump's 20-point plan is initiated and in place. I know that Supreme Being, yeah, they don't, I don't know. I don't understand what people, you don't, if you think that there's a weapons cache in a building where children are and women, you don't just blow up the building and say, well, they shouldn't have been using the children as human shields. That's ridiculous. That is the most asinine argument. Special forces, that's what you use special force groups for, right? SOCOM, right? That's what you use these particular specialized forces for, right? You give them infiltration missions. You have them do, you perform black, missions where you might have to go undercover. You might have to get an asset. You might have to, it takes work. It's a lot easier. It's much more difficult than just blowing up a building. Smoke Detector says, why'd you ban Hunker if you don't know what, you don't want to destroy ideas? I didn't ban him. My mod did for, I don't know, maybe they violated something. I don't know. Jennifer Flanagan says, scrolling lives and just got to say you are a beautiful man. Oh, and I'm not offended. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer Flanagan. I appreciate you. The war starts on Thursday. Which war are we referring to? Listen, man, this stabilization force is basically to ensure that Donald Trump and the elite class get what they want out of Gaza, which is to turn it into a resort for the elites, right? Where they can make a whole lot of money and they can turn it into, a beach town where you go and you'll see some Palestinians. They'll wait on you hand and foot. They'll get paid $2 a day and they'll go off to their hobbles, and the elite class will sit up there and kick their feet up and collect and collect and collect. This is the idea. That's what the Great Trust is about, right? I might touch on the Great Trust again. I might show you guys what that's about. Matique says they should be grateful. Sure, pal. Marcy T says, ain't nobody on no power trip, Smoke Detector. It's about respect, something you don't have any clue what it means. Who's making $2 a day? A lot of people. But I'm saying the idea for what the goal they have for Gaza is to turn it into an elite paradise, right? Where they will initiate an apartheid where the Palestinian people will make crumbs to wait on the elites hand and foot. That's what. Who? Oh, the United States. Jared Kushner. Yeah, this is the plan. Look up the Great Trust. I've talked about it before. Jared Kushner talked about it before October 7th happened. He talked about turning Gaza essentially into a beach resort and making a shitload of money out of it. This is the plan. The Great Trust, look it up. Matter of fact, just for you guys, maybe later on today, I will talk about the Great Trust and what they want and what the Great Trust is about. Why are you hostile as an administrator in this chat? She's not hostile. Maybe somebody was disrespecting me, being homoerotic or talking nonsense or spamming. I don't know. There's no reason to send forces to their luxury on someone else's property for rich elite paradise on our tax money. That's wrong. I agree. And as a matter of fact, the Great Trust calls for so many billions of dollars in public funding and so many billions of dollars in private funding. Guess who is going to be, guess who takes on the bulk of the funding? Yeah, the public. When they say public funding, they're talking about the taxpayer. So they want to rebuild Gaza in a certain image, and it's going to cost us a lot of money. The Great Trust, it's a reality. The Great Trust. Just look it up. All you got to do is Google it. We ain't going to make no money off of it. Jennifer says, no, the people currently making Jennifer, I don't know of any American making $2 a day. Yeah. But bless your heart for wanting to send them money. I appreciate you. I don't know anybody making $2 a day in America. I don't know. I'm talking about in nations like Palestine. If they get their way, they would be making essentially what amounts to probably $2 a day. In America, oh, who makes 96 cents a day, Marcy T? I don't personally know anybody making 98 cents a day, but I'm pretty sure there are. Maybe prisoners, right? The prison industrial complex. America is a good place to live in comparison to other nations that are tyrannical. Yes. America is the best tyrannical country to live in. You're absolutely right. Of all the oppressive and tyrannical nations ran by ruling governments, America is the best. You're absolutely right. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yes, Trump, Gaza. Hey, I got to get to work. But thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for hitting that like button. Oh, well, what do we have here? An infectious virus is spreading out of control. Isn't it always? Hand, foot, mouth disease. Anyway, salute to Black Spring with Autumn in the building. Salute to the beautiful queen. And yes, thank you for dropping my the link to my book. You guys can go check my book out. I think I'm going to do a live stream where I tell you guys about my book. I encourage you guys to go pick up a copy. If you have Kindle, you can get the ebook for free. I just want you guys to read it and leave a review on Amazon. I got big plans for my book. I love we have freedom of speech and can agree to disagree here. Oh yeah, it's no problem. I have no problem with that. And my mods are usually good about not kicking people out for free speech. But everybody has their own tolerances. Do you all realize that Economic Magazine had on its cover in 2011 and get them fighting over the name of God? I hear you, Marcy T. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. But yes, look up the Great Trust and you'll find out what the plan is for Gaza. And look up Jared Kushner talking about plans for Gaza before October 7th. So listen, this is the reality. I appreciate you guys. Much love. Make sure you hit that like button, double tap that screen. That's all you got to do. And thank you to the beautiful Queen Sister Cameron for dropping that $20 super chat. I really appreciate it. Jennifer Flanagan says, this has been very pleasant live. Haven't seen negativity. And thanks for letting me be included. No problem. That's why I do what I do. I want to include everybody because I really do truly want freedom for everyone. I can't have freedom for myself if no one else is free, right? So anyway, thank you guys. And thank you to Marcy T for keeping the chat in check. And salute to my brother in Anarchy Television. Salute to y'all. Peace out, Rob Curtis. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And let's keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. Peace.